These are the things Winston Nelson really loves. His baseball hats, sun on his face, and his wife, Cheryl.
Wave to all the people out in the world. There we go.
They've been inseparable for 31 years.
We used to come home every night. I have supper ready, we'd eat, and then we'd go out either on the gallery or go across the street to the Dairy Queen. We loved it. We loved it.
We used to go play bowling.
Bowling, okay. We used to go bowling too.
But life looks different today. 3 strokes and a list of chronic illnesses permanently affected Winston's mobility and speech. Cheryl is now his full-time caretaker.
Yeah, she does a lot for me.
The Nelsons are no strangers to a hospital environment, but in early 2021, after a stint hospitalized at the St. Eustache Hospital, Cheryl got a call every loved one dreads.
And told me that my husband had a very, very, very sick heart, and that 3 of his main arteries are totally blocked. And I asked, you couldn't give like a stent? Or he says, no. I said, open heart.
Winston was allegedly ordered to live his last days back in Kanesatake, in a house ravaged by mold. Also at issue is how he was sent home.
And my heart, when I saw him coming out of there, I'm sorry. It just, memories that you try to put behind you, but you can't.
Cheryl alleges Winston was discharged in the dead of winter, wearing just a hospital gown, socks, and a diaper. His coat and clothing handed to Cheryl in bags.
They took the blanket that he did have on him off of him to bring back inside.
That's as much of an apology as the Nelsons ever received. In an email to APTN News, the regional health authority overseeing St. Eustache Hospital said the incident was investigated internally and found to be both inadequate and insensitive. They claim it's an issue of staff inexperience rather than discrimination. But with the help of the Centre for Research Action on Race Relations, or CRAR, the Nelsons filed a complaint and request for compensation with the Quebec Human Rights Commission. But it's gone untouched for over a year.
It's going to be quite a challenge, and the delay doesn't help. But we're trying to push for the case to proceed, given the health situation of Mr. Nelson.
Quebec's healthcare system post-pandemic is under immense strain. The coroner's inquest examining Joyce Echaquan's death at Joliet Hospital found she was victim to systemic discrimination in healthcare. Niemi says more people are coming forward through CRAR with similar complaints. But how do you prove systemic racism is the root of the problem?
We have to look for anecdotal evidence. We have to look at basically stories and reports and the narratives from other people from the same community or from the same group that have similar stories to tell.
The reputation of St. Eustache Hospital is well known within Kanesatake, especially for frontliners like Rob Bonspiel, who runs the community's ambulance service.
90% of the calls that come out of our community are transported to St. Eustache. There's a lot of individuals who have voiced a disapproval as to the service that they're getting at the hospital. This in light of what happened with the Joyce Echaquan situation and the like. Language is a huge issue. That seems to be the biggest factor when it comes to complaints coming from the community.
After Joyce Echaquan died, Quebec announced a number of cultural safety measures to correct these issues, including the hiring of interpreters or cultural navigators. But it's too late for the Nelsons, who say they'll never go back.
You can't do that. You can't do that to people. You can't do that to their minds. And you can't call up people and say, hey, guess what? Come take your husband home because he's dying.
We contacted the Quebec Human Rights Commission for a status update on Winston's file, but they refused comment, citing confidentiality. Cheryl says she'll keep fighting for Winston while caring for him at home. After all, she took a vow, until death do them part. Lindsay Richardson, APTN National News, Kanesatake Mohawk Territory.